Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. Here we are, it's the last issue of Delivery 4 and it's issue 14. So it's a paint issue, not a lot really to write home about. We get two new paints, Rack-Off Flesh and Screamer Pink. So we'll be doing a lot of detail in those two colours, namely purity seals and parchment on Space Marines. And we're painting the tongues on the Tyranids. We also have information about the Inquisition, the Oath of Moment, Pledge of the Space Marine, the Third Tyrannic War, and then we cover deployment before taking a look at deep striking in our latest mission. So the paints you get are these two, Rack-Off Flesh and Screamer Pink. So a nice vibrant pink and a nice matted sort of bone-like colour. We'll be putting those to use in our paint guide on our Space Marine Terminator Captain and our Tyranid Prime, as both of those models qualify for the complete paint guide. Make sure you do apply these colours to all your models in your collection. Before we hit the table, don't forget to do all the usual, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment down below, and then don't forget to share this around with all your friends on social media so they can enjoy Combat Patrol Carnage as much as you are. And who knows, you might be able to get them into Warhammer 40,000 too. Finally then, don't forget Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They have a great selection of new and used models and armies for various different game systems. They also stock dice, templates, tokens, paints and paintbrushes. So your whole hobby shebang in one place. There's a link in the video description for you to check out, and who knows, you might find the next hobby project at a bit of a discount. Right, let's head to the table and we'll do some painting. Here we are then with issue 14. So we got two new paints, you can see them up close now. So Screamer Pink and Rack-Off Flesh, two lovely colours, and yeah, I use these quite often on my Space Marines for various different things. Parchment, purity seals, even bone detail as well. And yeah, Screamer Pink can be used in quite a lot of things, handle grips for weapons, capes, waxes on the purity seals, etc. And yeah, could even be used for the entire armour if you wanted to do a pinky Space Marine chapter. So here we have our issue, and we need to adjust the camera even to take a look at our paint guides before we bring in the paint desk. So if we flip open the page, we have our full contents for the issue. So paint guide 9 is looking at Rack-Off Flesh and Screamer Pink. Read articles, we have the Inquisition, page 10 of the Imperium, Oath of Moment, page 9 of the Space Marines, and the Third Tyrannic War, page 11 for the Tyranids. For play, we have deployment, so basics, page 11, and deep strike is our 10th scenario. So, how to paint Rack-Off Flesh and Screamer Pink. With a pair of new paints at your disposal, you can continue painting your models. Rack-Off Flesh is great for painting parchment and cloaks on your models, while Screamer Pink is a richly pigmented colour, which you can use to pick out a variety of eye-catching details such as wax purity seals. So we've got a tutorial on how to update our Space Marines. So we want to pick out all of the parchment detail on our models. So there's two purity seal type things hanging down from these tilt shields. We got the little bits that are oath parchment on his loincloth there, and he does have a few purity seals scattered around him, and he also has the scroll work on his shoulder pad to pick out as well, which you'll see over the page. You want to check all your different Infernus Marines, as they usually have one, sometimes two purity seals on. I actually missed out one the first time round. I had to go back and do it again. Same for your Terminators, check around the entire model. Again, one usually on everybody, but could have two on some of them. Our Librarian has the most. He's got two hanging down from his waist. He's got two on his leg here, and he's got one on his shoulder pad as well. And you'll want to make sure you flip around and reach the undersides. So there's purity seal on the Sergeant's Infernus gun there, and then we see the parchment on the shoulder pad being picked out. And while you're at it, we can do the inside of the captain's cape, so that's that bit picked out, and yeah, he looks a lot good. There's also one bit of parchment on the Crux Terminatus on his leg there as well. Finally then, for Screamer Pink, we're picking out all the wax detail. So you want to pick out the top surface and try and get the edges as you can. You see there, they've missed it really. They've left them a bit blue. But yeah, you want to make sure you get the edges as well. Try to avoid your other colours, but don't worry if you do make any spills, you can tidy back up later on. And then we have a gallery of our finished models. So yeah, looking up good, updated. Did you find all the parchment strips on your models? I think I did. I'll have to go back and double check, but yeah, I think I got them all. So yeah, our Space Marines are looking at good. Another bit of the librarian to do is the, just off camera, the straps there on his book as well. So yeah, loads of little details to pick out. So just take your time with your models and you'll get them all. And then for our Tyranids, we are just updating our models that have tongues. So the Rippers, Barb Gaunts, Termagants, and our Tyranid Prime all have tongues. Not every model. I think there's only 4 in that unit that don't, and there's 3, I think, in that unit that don't as well. But yeah, I can show you how to paint that on the Tyranid Prime we have. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Right, let's bring in the paint desk and put these new paints to use. So I think as he has the least to do, we'll start work on our Tyranid Prime. So we'll grab Screamer Pink, give it a shake, crack the lid. As you can see, it's a lovely, vibrant pink. A little bit of water just to mix up pink. And bring in our model. So we just got the tongue on the inside of the mouth to do. So just gently there we are. One coat should be enough, going over a fairly pale undercoat. If you do see any of the wraith bone showing through, just pop back in with a second coat. But yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, just do that on all your Tyranid models. To make painting my captain easier, I've disassembled him. And while we've still got Screamer Pink out, we can start picking out the wax details. So you got one on this shoulder pad here, with the purity seal. Like so. And we got one on either leg as well to pick out. And again, luckily it's a nice strong pigmented colour, so one coat should be enough. On the blue there might be some of that showing through, so you might want to go back and do a second coat. There we go, that's the pink done. We can pick out the dead Carnifex tongue if we wanted to as well. And yeah, that's it for purity seals, I believe. Yep. So next up we can move to our new paint, Rakarth Flesh. So Rakarth Flesh up next then, our second new paint. Give this one a good shake and crack the lid. Hopefully it'll be nice and smooth like all the paints you've had so far. There's a slight bit of lumpage there, not too much. I know I've seen it worse on some of my other pots. But we'll grab some of this. I'll use my base brush because we'll do the inside of the cape first, which is quite a large area. So get the paint prepared, clean our brush off. Just move those to the side and we'll focus on our cape. So you'll definitely want to do 2 coats of this over the blue. But just take your time, get 1 coat down, and you can come back and do the other when you finish doing all the purity seals. And it's dried. But yeah, that's 1 layer down. Make sure we got all the outsides and the bottom. Leave that to dry and we'll work on the rest of the model. So I'll switch to our small layer brush for the smaller details. So on the captain we've got all the different parchment detail to pick out. And as we have access to the rear side, we can get the underside as well, like so. We got a little bit of parchment here on the front of his leg. Yeah, we'll come back and do a second layer of that. Moving over to his arms, we got the parchment and the scroll work there to do. Luckily over the white, it should just need the 1 colour cover. And we got a purity seal there and a bit of parchment there. A little bit more, I think. Leave those to dry. We should be able to come back and do a second layer in a minute. So I'll come back in now and we'll do the second layer on the inside of the cloak. Seems to be drying out quite quickly down here. There we go. Might need a third layer on that, but we'll see how it looks when it dries. So what we'll do, pause the camera, I'll go back and do a second layer on all the purity seals just to make sure that they are perfect, and I'll bring everything back in and show you the finished result. And here we are, back with the magazine and back with our updated models. So there we go. Tongues done on all our Tyranids, and the purity seal and the inside of the cape done. I'll focus on our captain there. Definitely looks a lot better now. Still waiting for some of the paint to dry, looks like it there. But yeah, he is looking really good, and just really have a few colours left to add to complete him. So hopefully we'll get that in the next delivery, as we are getting red, which would be quite a nice colour to finish off the outside of the cape, as well as perhaps put some red as differential colours on some of the plates of armour. Who knows? But yeah, there we have it. Let me know what you thought of this video in the tutorial in the comment section down below. Have you found it useful for painting your own models? And how do you like using Screen Your Pink and Rack-Off Flesh? Are you someone who likes having pink Space Marines or pink Tau perhaps with a nice Screen Your Pink base coat? Or is Rack-Off Flesh your go-to for all things ghostly and ghouly, like I like to use for both skeletons and the decaying flesh? It's a good all-round colour. All you can do really is change the wash you put on top of it, and it's a fantastic colour. I also use it as basing for flesh and hair on all my Blood Angels. It's a really good all-round colour. Yeah, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to, of course, check warbay.shop for any extra issues of Combat Patrol you want. I myself have ordered an extra Farseer and the 2 issues for the Guardians, as I'd like to add some extra to my Eldari, potentially, depending on how you lot vote on how I paint it. I might get an entire second set and paint as Iandan to keep for myself. Yeah, don't forget to check them out. And I will see you next time on more Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.